So this is basically the mise en scène. Now I'm going to be moving on to sound and locations used. So for the sound, I used a voiceover, which is a convention of the genre. It allows the audience to get inside the mind of the character, create a rapport with them, but also know what they're thinking and feeling in every single part of the film. So I used the voiceover because I thought it was really important to introduce the narrative and her perspective. The music that I used was very teen-like. For example, in the film To All the Boys I Loved Before, it uses a song called I Like Me Better, which it's used to engage with the teenage audience. I didn't want the music to be just a compliment. I wanted to be a big part and helping the audience to be hooked inside the world of the film. I also used ambience and diegetic sounds that blend in and they disappear as we enter her world inside her head when she's in the car. So that's basically the sound. Here I have this post describing basically the four types of sound that I used and how I edited each, the purpose that they have basically, and the voiceover transcript. I have it here, and how I had to trim down the voiceover. So basically, sound, I give it a lot of thought. So now in terms of the locations that I used, in the living room, when they're in the flash forward scene, I wanted them to be sitting on the floor with their backs laying on the couch instead of sitting on the actual couch because it's much more intimate. It's very relaxed and it's really close. The only thing that's between them it's their feelings. Um, and I thought that was going to create a more intimate atmosphere. I also used her bedroom as the first location because it allows the audience to see inside her personal space, again, create more rapport with her. The car I used because a car journey always invites for reflection. The car itself, the car journey is metaphoric for the journey that she, as a character, is going to be. Is going to be starting basically a journey towards self discovery. And the entrance of the house that I used, I choose it for its luminosity. Again, I have a post on the blog about the change of location, the difficulties at that post, but also the challenge and how overcoming that challenge was great. And so here in the location reconnaissance, what I did was basically describe how I chose the bedroom, the entrance, and the location for the car ride scene, as well as the cozy sofa scene where she's, sitting with her back on the couch instead of on the actual couch itself. And here I also have the soundtrack for my film, which I'm going to be talking about later on. So basically, those are the locations, and the entrance also has implications of departure. So I thought that was really important to use because, of course, the girl is going to start a journey. She's going to leave her house behind, and the entrance really conveyed that feeling of leaving. So I'm now going to go straight into the last part, representation. So here again, I have this word cloud basically summarizing everything. But from the very beginning, in my initial idea pitch, I had a very good idea of how I wanted my characters to be like. So for the teenage girl, I didn't want her to be the typical shy girl. I wanted to make her more relatable. Also, I wanted her character to be quite deep. So many teenage romance film, the whole world of the main character is the relationship. However, I wanted the audience to really get to know her before they ever got to know her love story, because this is a story about her. She's a strong, independent woman. She is strong enough to be vulnerable. So these are, of course, tropes that I've subverted from typical romance film, where the girl is presented as quite vulnerable, quite shy, quirky. My character is going to be a very strong woman, but also she's going to be relatable for my teenage audience. She fears rejection, she has anxiety of what other people will think. She's quite extroverted, but she's insecure. So I think that's going to make her really relatable and understandable. And so she's a teenager, and I didn't want this to be a film about a rebellious teenager involving drugs and alcohol, as so many series such as Riverdale seem to be doing these days. I wanted this, however, I did use the trope that as a teenager, she is figuring out her life. So this is a common trait that I use.